Happy Thursday. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having an amazing Thursday. Today it is July 17th, 9:25 in the morning, and markets are thriving. Once again, some reports did come out that were better than what was expected. United Airlines reported earnings. At one point, it was up 6%, but it has now given it back. It's only up 1.8%. And this also helps the other airlines gap up, but again, has given it back. The other company is Pepsi Cola, right? Or just Pepsi, for those that are familiar with that brand. Incredibly bullish day, makes sense, 7%, it beat expectation. This is definitely a very bullish move. I do want to remind you on the day chart, it is testing a major resistance, but if you zoom out even further, all depends on your timeline of, if you're just invested for a short period of time or you want to go in long term. Pepsi still is quite oversold based off of previous highs, but we'll see if we actually begin to continue to hold at these levels or if it gets rejected and comes back down to retest previous support. The part that I find very interesting today is that markets are pushing higher even when there is really no economic data that supports it. I'm not too sure if you guys saw this, but the US 30-year Treasury, for those that don't know, is now above 5.04%. closing the highest level in the past 18 years. Insane, right? And especially for those that are waiting to buy a house or to take out a mortgage, the more that you see the 10-year Treasury go up, the more expensive it will be for you to take out a mortgage and borrow, as again, the benchmark is the 10-year Treasury. Millions of Americans now have to work multiple jobs to pay for basic necessities. So again, we are now at a level, the figure surpasses the 2008 peak by 800,000 people. So if this doesn't prove it, I don't know what will. The stock market, just because it's at all-time highs, is not a representation of how Americans are doing. It's not a representation of how our economy is doing. The stock market is a representation of how investors see the up and coming future of our economy. So they might be bullish, but again, they don't know what's bound to happen, and they always are more greedy than they are conservative. As again, if you think back to 2008, markets were at all-time highs before they weren't, right? I want to remind you what has been the biggest concerns just a few weeks ago. Tariffs. We still have not signed any new deals. So where is all that energy, right? Where's all that concern and fear that originally was causing the market to sell off? The second thing is inflation. Trump and the White House took to Twitter today saying that producer prices, and this is the part that, again, this is true. It says there was no inflation at all in June for producer prices. But the average American, when they see this, they don't know what this is. They don't know that this is the PPI report that no one cares about. What about the CPI report that was released the day before? Why didn't the White House take it to Twitter to share those inflation numbers? Because it would have shown that inflation actually went up for consumers. And that's all the stock market cares about. What is happening to consumers? The CPI report is the more important report between those two. So why don't we talk about that? Because it wouldn't fit their narrative for the Trump administration that, hey, inflation is actually going up. It's not that there's no inflation at all. But again, they don't want to talk about that to inform the American people because they want everyone to think that things are actually doing well. There was this article that I saw where it says, while June CPI report was 2.7%, inflation is much higher in many basic necessities. Utility gas inflation, 14.2%. Car insurance inflation, 6.1%. Electricity inflation, 5.8%. Meat and egg inflation, 5.6%. Car repair inflation, 5.2%. Homeowner inflation, 4.2%. Hospital services, 4.2%. Rent inflation, 3.8%. Food away from home inflation, 3.8%. So again, this is the second consecutive month that we see inflation actually go up. Inflation has been one of the big concerns for the US. The reason why is that the US, again, wants the Fed, Jerome Powell, to start cutting interest rates. But the Fed has made it very clear, even before Trump was in office, that their goal was a 2% target. What do you think the Federal Reserve is going to do if inflation is going away from their goal? Inflation is no longer going down. Inflation has been consecutively going up for 2 months. Now we sit at 2.7%. So the more that it goes up, the less likely the Federal Reserve is to cut interest rates, which is why, based off of what we talked about yesterday, there is a 95% probability that the Federal Reserve is going to pause once again. Yet, the market wants to ignore this. And it has, right? As we can see, the market is more bullish than it is bearish. In my opinion, it's all BS. And it's just my opinion. So please, if you think markets are going to continue to be incredibly bullish and you think markets are cheap right now, I say put your money where your mouth is and buy with everything it is that you can at these elevated levels. But we all know that's not the case. Beginners should be informed that they shouldn't be scared for a market pullback. They should just be aware that we are at an elevated level where there's no deals. And this is why, again, I don't recommend shorting for any beginners. I'm not here to convince beginners to try to follow what it is that I'm doing. All I'm saying is that it makes more sense to be cash than it does to be invested at these levels. If you are truly someone that is trying to focus on getting something for a good deal, it doesn't make sense to buy when companies are trading north of a 100 PE ratio, right? Hood is a perfect example of this. I have an active short on Hood in today's live trading session with my LPP team. We did it beautifully. We talked about the potential that this thing had in gapping up, as again, Hood has been incredibly irrational as the crypto space has been making new highs. There's a lot of hype, there's a lot of greed, and I love it because it offers these intraday plays where the hype kicks in. If you're cash, you just let it run up. It hits a resistance, it hits a wall. I open up a short position and then I make money as it retraces. It's the perfect overbought setup. I mean, just as you can go long and make money, you can also go short. But guess what? These things always end up correcting themselves because it's all made up. There's no reason that they should be trading at these elevated levels. I even looked at the Investing Pro feature, and even Hood says that their fair value for Hood currently trading at $105 per share. Its fair value is $51. That means it has a 50% downside. Uncertainty is high. I can make a whole video. Maybe I will. You guys let me know down in the comment section if you guys would make me want me to do a full fundamental analysis and technical analysis for this weekend on Hood, on Robinhood, on why I believe that, again, this will also be one of those stocks, just like we saw a few months ago, that will see one of the largest retracements once markets do begin to fall. As of now, it makes no sense to short, especially if you're a beginner. Just because I'm shorting it and I see an intraday play, I don't like to carry my shorts overnight. So I like to get in, get out, make my money, and I bounce. But again, this isn't for beginners. Shorting isn't for beginners. So please, when I talk about these ideas, I'm not going to be like those crypto or Reddit traders that say, you need to follow exactly what it is that I'm doing. No. I understand that with different experience levels comes different forms of risk tolerance. And I know that shorting just comes at a greater form of risk tolerance and understanding of the market. So I would rather you just stay cash and wait for those deals than to try to mimic what it is that I'm doing and not understanding nor respecting the risk. I want to see you win because you earn it, right? You identify an opportunity, you stay patient, you stay calculated, and you enter and exit when it makes sense to you, not because some idiot on Reddit is telling you that this thing is going to moon because of the weather. So again, you guys let me know down in the comment section if you guys would like me to make a follow-up video on Robinhood for that fundamental analysis on why a 50% retracement just makes too much sense for these overvalued stocks. So let me know down below. But again, I do appreciate you guys' time. I hope that you guys enjoyed this little update. Like I said, I trade live with my LPP team every day, especially if you're a beginner and you learn best by watching other people do. Then again, you can watch me enter and exit and share my thought process behind every trade I take. And you also get access to the A to Z video lesson library that's designed for complete beginners. If you want to learn more about it and the current discount we have going on, it's the second link in the description down below. I appreciate your time, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.